the awakening of the multi-realm soul. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture a vast ocean of reality stacked and layered like thin veils of translucent light, each vibrating at a different frequency, each governed by its own laws of time, emotion, memory, and energy. Now imagine that while most people can only perceive one layer, one version of reality, the physical, the logical, the known, there are a few who can feel the echoes of all the others. They hear whispers in silence. They see patterns behind chaos. They dream of places they've never been and wake up with knowledge they never studied. These are not fantasies. These are bleed-throughs from other dimensions, and the souls who experience them are not broken, lost, or delusional. They are chosen, but not in the way pop culture has trained you to think. Being chosen doesn't mean you're better. It means you're called to walk between dimensions, called to hold the paradox, called to stand at the edge of the seen and the unseen and translate what you find. If you're watching this right now, maybe it's not an accident. Maybe you've felt it too. The pull, tiache, the knowing. Maybe you've always known you were different, but you never knew why. This is why. There are 7 types of chosen ones who can walk between spiritual dimensions. But before we explore them, I need to tell you a truth that no one else will. Being multidimensional isn't glamorous. It's not about having powers or being special. It's about remembering what most have forgotten and carrying that memory through a world that often doesn't want to hear it. It's painful to see through illusions when others are still invested in them. It's isolating to feel things others can't name, but it's also liberating. Because the moment you stop trying to fit into a single version of reality, you begin to reclaim your role as a bridge between worlds. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What's awakening in me?" And that question is everything. That question opens the path. That question reveals who you truly are beneath conditioning, fear, and amnesia. So I ask you now, when did you first feel like this world wasn't the full truth? What did you see, hear, or feel before anyone told you not to believe in it? The first type of chosen one is what I call the Veilwalker. These are the ones who were born with a thin veil between their waking mind and the unseen realms. They often had imaginary friends as children, but those friends were real, just not visible to everyone. They receive messages in dreams that come true. They enter altered states without trying. They can feel the emotions of a room before anyone speaks. Veilwalkers don't just believe in energy, they embody it. They sense when someone is lying, even if the words sound perfect. They know when something is about to shift, even if nothing has changed yet on the surface. But their biggest challenge is doubt, because they've been gaslit by logic, trained by society to distrust their gifts. So they shut it down. They numb out. But the veil never truly closes. It just waits. And when the Veilwalker chooses to trust again, trust the whispers, the nudges, the symbols, they unlock portals that no one else can see. They become the seers, the shamans, the messengers. They walk in 2 worlds at once. The second type is the Timekeeper. This is the chosen one who remembers things before they happen. They don't always know how they know, but they know. They feel a future version of themselves pulling them forward, like a magnetic thread stretching across lifetimes. Timekeepers are haunted by déjà vu. They often feel like they're running out of time, or that they've lived this life before. Not just a past life in another body, but this life in this world. They are highly intuitive navigators of timelines. They can collapse or stretch time depending on their emotional state. They often arrive early to awakening and feel like they're waiting for others to catch up. Timekeepers carry ancient codes in their DNA, and they're here to shift collective cycles. They sense global shifts before they hit. They feel the pulse of humanity like a drumbeat in their bones. But their challenge is patience, because they see what's possible, but they have to wait for others to align. So they learn to hold space, to be the midwives of a new timeline, even when it hasn't arrived yet. The third type is the soul mirror. This one is intense. Soul mirrors are chosen ones who reflect back to others their truest essence. When people are around them, they either feel deeply seen or deeply triggered. There's no in-between. That's because the soul mirror carries a frequency of truth that burns through falsehood. They don't even have to speak, just their presence reveals what's hidden. These are the people who walk into a room and shift the energy just by being there. They're often mistaken as intimidating, dramatic, or too much. But in reality, they're just clear. They hold such a high resolution of soul light that anything misaligned gets exposed. They're not trying to cause conflict. They're simply incapable of pretending. Their biggest challenge is loneliness. Because people project onto them, they lose friends, lovers, even family. But the soul mirror wasn't sent here to be liked. They were sent here to be true. And when they accept that, they become catalysts for transformation everywhere they go. They don't need followers. They activate leaders. Now pause for a moment. This is not a list of archetypes for you to idolize or imitate. This is a mirror, a map. Maybe you recognize yourself in one, maybe in all of them. That's because these aren't rigid categories. They're living frequencies. You can shift between them depending on your mission, your cycle, your soul's evolution. Walking between dimensions is not a fixed title. It's a path, a remembering, a sacred responsibility, and above all, it requires humility. Because the moment you think you've mastered the unseen, it will humble you. The moment you try to own the gift, it disappears. The dimensions aren't here to entertain your ego. They're here to awaken your soul. So I ask you again, are you willing to see yourself as you truly are, without filters, without stories, without fear? What part of you have you been hiding from because you knew it would change everything? In the next chapter, we'll explore 4 more types of chosen ones, each one tied to a sacred element, each one carrying a key to a different evolutionary gate. But more than that, we're going to go deeper into what it feels like to live between dimensions. The disorientation, the beauty, the responsibility. You'll learn how to protect your energy without closing your heart, how to receive guidance without getting lost in fantasy, and how to embody your multidimensionality in a world that's still learning to wake up. This isn't just a video. This is a transmission. And if you've made it this far, you're not here by accident. The sacred 4, earth, fire, water, air, and the chosen ones who guard their gates. The 4th type of chosen one is the earth anchor. This is the soul who walks between worlds not by ascending but by rooting. While others seek to escape the density of the material world, the earth anchor sinks deeper into it. They are the guardians of energy grids, the ones who intuitively know where the land is sacred, where the energy is imbalanced, and where healing must take place. Earth anchors are builders of reality. They're drawn to nature, structure, and sacred geometry, not just for beauty, but because at some level, they remember how to weave the worlds together. They hold the codes of embodiment. You'll meet them in gardens, in forests, in cities where they plant energetic seeds through art, architecture, or movement. Their challenge is heaviness, because they feel the density of the planet more than anyone. They carry ancestral weight, collective grief, and karmic memory in their bodies. But when they remember who they are, they become walking temples. They don't just connect the physical and spiritual, they merge them. And in doing so, they stabilize the vibration of the entire human field. The fifth type is the fire initiator. These are the ones who come to burn illusions, to ignite awakening through disruption. They are the truth speakers, the boundary breakers, the sacred rebels. Fire initiators are often misunderstood, even feared. They say the thing no one else will say. They expose what others try to hide, and they do it with intensity. But their fire is not destruction for the sake of chaos, it's purification. Their presence activates dormant power in others. They are catalysts, not caretakers. They will not coddle your comfort zone. Their very energy says, "Wake up, it's time." But their challenge is balance. Because if they're not rooted in love, their fire becomes rage. If they're not connected to their heart, their truth becomes weaponized. The fire initiator must constantly return to stillness, to the quiet flame within, not the wildfire without. When they master that, they become sacred teachers, fierce protectors of divine order, and awakeners of sleeping giants. Now comes the sixth type, the water oracle. These are the deeply empathic, emotionally fluid souls who serve as channels between the conscious and the subconscious, between the human and the divine. Water oracles swim in the realms of dreams, visions, and archetypes. Their emotions are not weaknesses, they are instruments. Every feeling they experience is a message, every tear a transmission. They are psychics, poets, mystics, and healers. And when they speak, their words ripple through the soul. But their challenge is boundaries. Because water takes the shape of its container, the oracle can lose themselves in others, drown in collective pain, or confuse their own energy with someone else's. Their gift is sensitivity, but without mastery, that gift becomes suffering. So their path is about learning to honor their emotions without becoming ruled by them, to feel everything, but not hold everything. When they do, they become liquid light, able to traverse dimensions through intuition, ceremony, and deep presence. They don't walk between worlds, they flow between them. And finally, the seventh type of chosen one is the air weaver. These souls are the connectors, the ones who can hold multiple perspectives at once and weave them into wisdom. They are the messengers, the visionaries, the ones who receive downloads from other dimensions and translate them into ideas, systems, and language that others can understand. Air weavers are often intellectual, curious, and endlessly creative. They see connections where others see chaos. They can tune into galactic intelligence, ancestral memory, and future potential, sometimes all in the same breath. But their challenge is grounding. Because they live so much in the higher realms, they can become fragmented, scattered, or detached from the body. They must learn to breathe their visions into form, to speak with clarity, and to land their downloads into the soil of real life. When they do, they become bridges between the ordinary and the extraordinary. They don't just walk between spiritual dimensions, they map them. So here we are, 7 types, 7 keys, 7 portals of possibility. But I'll tell you something even deeper. These are not just roles. They are frequencies, and you might carry more than one. You might start as a soul mirror and awaken as a fire initiator. You might be a Veilwalker who becomes an earth anchor. The path is not linear. The journey is not fixed. These 7 types are not meant to box you in. They are meant to unlock you, to remind you that you're not crazy, you're not lost, and you're not alone. You are remembering. You are reactivating. You are returning to the multidimensional self you've always been. And now, As we dive into the next part of this journey, we're going to explore what it really means to live between worlds, not just in theory, but in practice. How do you protect your energy without shutting down your gifts? How do you stay grounded when your soul is half in the stars? How do you live as a chosen one in a world that still clings to the illusion of separation? Living between realms, the real-life challenges of the chosen ones, and how to master them. Living between realms is not a poetic metaphor, it's a daily, visceral experience. When you're a chosen one, whether Veilwalker, Timekeeper, Soul Mirror, or any of the elemental guardians, your nervous system is tuned differently. You're wired to pick up on the subtle, the unspoken, the energetic. You feel what others ignore. You notice what's hidden. And because of that, you often carry a dual awareness, one foot in the mundane, one foot in the mystical. This duality is beautiful, but it can also be overwhelming. You're constantly translating between languages of energy and form. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unfelt what you've felt. And yet, you're still expected to function in a world built on logic, speed, and surface-level validation. That friction creates spiritual fatigue. You may feel like you're always on, always absorbing, always absorbing. And if you don't learn how to manage that, it's not your gift that will destroy you, it's your openness. The same sensitivity that lets you walk between dimensions can, if unguarded, pull you into energetic chaos. That's why one of the first disciplines of the multidimensional path is energetic sovereignty. It's not about blocking the world out. It's about choosing what you let in. Think of your aura like a house. Do you leave all the doors open all the time, letting anyone walk in? Or do you discern who enters and why? Most chosen ones were never taught how to make that distinction. They were empathic children, absorbing their parents' emotions, their environment's fear, even the collective wounds of their ancestors. That openness became identity, but now it must become mastery. You must learn how to cleanse your field, not just with smoke or crystals, but with intention. You must learn to command your space, to say with your energy, I allow what serves and release what drains. That is not ego. That is spiritual hygiene. And without it, you'll find yourself carrying pain that was never yours, processing emotions that weren't born in your body, and wondering why you feel heavy after being around certain people or places. Remember, your gift is not just to perceive energy, but to direct it. Another challenge we face is maintaining presence in a system that constantly pulls us into fragmentation. Chosen ones often struggle with feeling too much or too little, too sensitive for the world, too alien for the mundane, too deep for surface-level relationships. You may find yourself withdrawing, isolating, or feeling like you need to dim your light just to survive. But that's not the answer. The path is not about shrinking. It's about anchoring. You don't need to suppress your multidimensionality. You need to embody it. That means grounding your awareness into the body. It means listening to your breath, feeding your vessel well, resting when you're overwhelmed, and creating rituals that root you in the present moment. You are not just a spirit floating between worlds. You are a bridge, and a bridge must be stable. You must learn to hold paradox without collapsing, to feel deeply but not drown, to know the future without abandoning the now, and most of all, to love this world, even when you see how broken it can be. Finally, perhaps the most profound challenge and invitation for those who walk between spiritual dimensions is this. How do you live your truth when the world doesn't yet recognize it? It is one thing to awaken. It is another to stay awake while surrounded by sleepwalkers. You will be doubted. You will be called delusional, too intense, too spiritual, too impractical. But that is not your burden. That is your signpost. When you are misunderstood, it means you are carrying something new. And the new is always met with resistance before it is revered. So do not water yourself down to be digestible. Do not edit your insight to make others comfortable. Your presence is permission. Your embodiment is the transmission. You don't have to convince anyone. Just become the truth so fully that your existence itself becomes a teaching. And yes, it will hurt sometimes. You will question if the path is worth it. But in those moments, remember, you didn't come here to fit in. You came here to remind, to restore, to reawaken. You chose this. At the soul level, you volunteered to walk between dimensions. So walk boldly, walk wisely, walk with love.